Hello. Can you guys hear me? Excellent. So, my name is Max. I am an engineer here on Stonehearth, and today I will be making some quality of life fixes. One I'm going to start with is being able to cancel placement ghosts. So, by that I mean when you, for example, place a chair and you want to cancel it, you don't have to wait for them to place it and then go back and undeploy it. Instead, you can just click on the ghost and cancel that. Simple thing that shouldn't take long to make, in theory, and should improve quality of life a little bit. So something like this. Whoa, that was fast. I'm gonna change that setting. User settings. If it's got blink or something. Whoa, it's a lot of custom stuff. Let's see if we have a speed override somewhere. Well, it's probably the building test, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do something simple like the carpenter test. Yep. Stonehearth tests. We don't want the build test. We'll want like harvester or carpenter or something like that. Harvest test, like the simplest. Let's close this and try it. Okay, so we've got a chair. It's pretty comfy, and I want to place it. And then halfway through the placement, I changed my mind, and I want to cancel it, but there is nothing here. Well, let's try to do something about it. So we are going to go to the ghost form component. I believe we actually have old code that tries to do that, this thing, and gonna uncomment it. Is cancelable, and whoa. Else we're gonna do the same thing with remove command, and we don't care whether it's the server because we shouldn't be calling this stuff on the client anyway, and that comment is wrong. So now we'll want someone to call this, and we don't want to make ghosts that part of a building cancelable because that will probably mess up the whole building logic. So we only want to enable this when you're doing like hand placements. For a start, let's just make sure it works at all. So let's see where it's created. So that's probably in placement somewhere or other. Probably entity. Yeah. Entity forms. Ghost. Start placement task. That seems reasonable. So we already do a trace on the ghost pre-destroy, which means we, as this comment explains, if the ghost is destroyed, we cancel the task. So really what we need to do is just destroy the ghost when we want to cancel, which is very convenient. And we've got our entity here, and we'll do a get component on Stonehearth, I guess ghost form. Let's see if we are using, yes, that's it. And we're gonna make it cancelable always for now. And let's let's try that. Comfy chair is going down here, then we're going to go place it, then we're going to pause, and there is nothing here. Okay, let's debug this thing. I'm gonna say print that we are here, and we're gonna print the ghost entity. And then we'll want to open the Stonehearth.log. Then ghost form, we will want, say, we are got here, and we'll want to do self entity, so we know what we're trying to make cancelable, and then whether it's cancelable or not. Gonna kill this and restart it. Let me catch up with the chat. I've been using console commands to destroy ghost items. Yep, that's the goal, to have you not need to do that. Dry stones and wet stones, all cool things. Don't think there is currently a way to get them in game other than cheating, but we will add that at some point. Oop, have a stone chair, have it placed. And still we don't get that cancel button. So we're gonna look in the log. So yes, we do get into, let me expand that so it's more readable. We do get to set start placement task for that ghost and set cancelable for that ghost. So we know this code is being run, however, we are not seeing the command button appear. So let's look in the object browser for it. So it has no commands. I wonder if that command just simply does not exist. I would expect that to have logged an error. Yes, could not look up JSON for path. If I only read one more line, I would have realized what the problem was. 54 grade says, I discovered a bug yesterday. When comes the goblin trying to negotiate with you, if you press escape, they don't ever bother you again. They don't leave the map and they don't ask anything more. Yeah, we should probably fix that. Or maybe you just like ignore them so they get hurt and never come back. That can happen sometimes. Let's look in our manifest.json. Stonehearth one. We've got lots of mods here. So destroy, cancel, and deploy. So I guess we don't have a destroy item, which is a totally reasonable thing to have. So let's add it. It's in here. What did we call it? Destroy item. That seems like a reasonable name. And then we want to go to change owner. And make a copy of that. And call that. Oh, that did not copy it. That's odd. Can I not copy things and paste things? What is wrong? Oh, okay, it just did not update the UI. Weird. Okay, destroy item. And our icon needs some changing. I believe we have the cancel icon some here. Yeah, that seems reasonable. And we're gonna place this. Destroy item. Our display name is gonna be destroy item, destroy item. Action fire event. No. What kind of actions do we support in these things? Let's look. So that would be the command component. Let's see. It does not have any reference to action. So probably there is a command Lua thing. Let's see. Nothing obvious shows up, so I'm just going to look at the command component and see how it handles commands. So this is disable, enable, etc., etc. Set defaults. It doesn't actually handling those commands, which is weird. Let's take a look at other commands that we have. That's probably the same hotkey that cancel uses is what we want, assuming cancel or undeploy. Undeploy seems like reasonable. Undeploy item. It's a little inaccurate, but it will do. And how does undeploy do its thing? Radiant undeploy item. These are all just events. Now we can have other things. Function. Okay, so this stuff is what we want probably. So this is gonna call a server command that will destroy this item, and we'll need to make a new server command for that. So let's go back to our destroy item. We've replaced action. We've replaced event name. Oh, we do want the hotkey. Event data is irrelevant anymore. Okay, what? Don't think we need an object. This would be probably a global call handler that takes the entity as an argument and destroys it. Or alternatively, if there is, actually, we can make it simpler. Just do this fire event approach that we had before, and in the ghost, listen to that event. If it happens, destroy self. Whoop. Sorry, I hit the chat for a sec. And event name would be ghost self, or just self-destruct. Do we prefix these things with radiant? Let's do that. Although in this case it's under Stonehearth, so Stonehearth self-destruct seems reasonable. We'll want to go to and.json. Yes, that's a good point. It's still named change owner says Serandires. I'm hoping I pronounced it right. Thank you. I will call and destroy item. And I also need to update the internationalization data. So and.json, we had change owner, and we're gonna, pretty sure that's the only one. Yep. Call it destroy item, and it's called destroy item. In our case, it's actually canceling a ghost, but let's say until we use it in other contexts, let's just call it cancel ghost, cancel placement. Remove this placement task and its ghost. Do we use the word ghost in the game? Probably not. Let's just say remove this placement task. Okay, so at this point we expect that that button exists. It doesn't actually do anything, but we can at least look at it and click on it. Let's try that. Oh, that's the wrong tool. Want comfy beds or chairs. And place that. And ta-da! Cancel placement. Remove this placement task. Currently does nothing. I'm clicking on it. Nothing happens, as expected. Let's go back to here. And we're going to listen to this on our item. So in the ghost form component, let's say just in its very basic post initialize, I'm gonna say let's just copy an existing listener. Seriously, this doesn't listen to anything? That's weird. And we're going to listen to Stonehearth self-destruct on our entity. And if we do that, we'll just do radiant entities. Kill entity, I believe. Self entity. Self-destruct trace. Let's say self-destruct listener. We use the two terms interchangeably sometimes, even though they're not quite. Traces are things that look at a specific object and react to its changes, while listeners just listen to events, which do not need to be connected to data. And let's just define that as nil for clarity, and in our destroy, we want to clean that up. So destroy the listener and set it to nil. This is a pattern we use all over the place. Okay, so this should at least listen to it and potentially work. Let's add a print. We know this is working because we see the button, but we don't know if the destroy is working. So we're gonna say that we got this event. Okay, that all seems pretty reasonable. Let's try it out. Okay, chair. Let's get us a chair, place it, let it go, and nothing happens. Let's look at, and Sublime. Let's look at Stonehearth.log if we can find it. Or we could just look at on here. So start placement task, we got it, but we never got that listen event. So one of the interesting things that I don't actually know is whether the commands component runs that or emits that event on the object being that has the command, or globally, which we certainly don't want for the global one. So let's see how the event is used. And I will catch up on the chat after I'm done doing this. So this actually doesn't emit those commands, it just adds them to a list. So what happens when we click on it? So to see that, we could go to Chrome and go to localhost, which is our local debugger for our UI, and see. Whoop. Oh yeah, that won't work because I need the bottom of the screen. Get used to multiple screens and then you can't work in a single one. Okay, we'll want, oh well, that won't work because I need to have this selected, and I want this. I want to see where its click goes. Event listeners. Really? No event listeners? There we go. They just took a while to load. Yeah. Gamer Missum? The color of your name makes it really hard to read. But yeah, having multiple screens is pretty crazy once you're used to it. Hello, Monkey Wagon. It's evening, and Dyer's Stonehearth will fixing the ghost not being able to be cancelled also fix building, thinking that an item ghost added after the item is built is part of the building not finished, or do you think? So we're kind of in the middle of transitioning from one building editor to a different building editor, and I wouldn't worry about what happens on the old one, and I have no idea what will happen on the new one yet. So we'll see. Potentially it will fix it. We'll have to try it out, but that's not the intent or not the clearly expected outcome. Let's see, do we have anything to do with commands? Console commands, place item, destroy item. Yeah, this does not help us at all. Forget that. Let's go back to Sublime and look at who listens to this. That's suspicious. I wonder if it's in the JavaScript. Yes. Aha. Right. So what happens is we're actually sending these on the client. So we'll need to find a way to pass them to the server. And as I mentioned before, I need to catch up on chat. Okay. Oh god, that bug. Yeah, I agree. It's painful. When you reach 20 villagers or something like that, they start to do weird things. They stand still. Yes, performance is a big problem right now, and we're currently focused on features. Once we're done, like maybe a couple months from now, we plan to do a very thorough performance pass that will make will allow for bigger cities and much less lag and weird behavior when you have like 20 or 30 or 40 hearthlings. If I remember correctly, it's because they all share the same brain, and so the more hearthlings you have, the more brain has to prioritize key project, leaving the other's brain dead, Dyer says. Kind of. You have one, so we run all of the AI for everyone on the map on the same CPU. We don't use multiprocessing because we use Lua, and it's not very friendly to multiprocessing. At least you need to have like your own management of state and ways to distribute the stuff. For that reason, we only use one CPU for AI in addition to all the game logic, which means that we'll need to do some real optimization for to make it work fast. Bruno Supremo, is it possible to add a movement modifier shape to water? I did in the swamp so I could have the avoiding pathing through water, but it was a fixed 300 region. I tried copying the water region so the collision would match, but failed. No, I don't think so. Recently I added a fix for that where if the region changes, it will update. So one thing that you could try is as the water region changes, trace it and then modify the movement modifier shape region, I expect performance will suffer because that thing forces a rebuild of the nav grid around the change area, and if the water region grows too far, it's gonna be very slow. But something we could try. Pick of Death says, watch out for 70 Hearthlings when multiplayer's out. Oh yeah, that's gonna be painful. Painful tower engine at least. What will happen if I reach 50 villagers? Depends on your machine. Let's see, brain explode. Yeah, kind of. Monkey Wagon, this is what development is like though. They are still way within the time used on a game dev. Usually it's around 5 years. Yeah, game timing differs between games, and the fact that we are doing it through early access exposes a lot of the internals that you just never happen to see in typical game development. Okay, let me get back to the thing I was doing now that I'm all caught up on chat. Well, kinda caught up. Let's see. We were looking at commands and finding commands that can be that already talk to the server. So this is the kind of heavyweight way of we create a new command handler on the server specific for that destroy item, and implement it. But I'm gonna try to see if we can have something lighter. So this is still firing event, and radiant place item. Yeah. Loot, edit, destroy is the one we're working on. Call trader. Call trader is kind of what we want. But yeah, that's also called the server command directly. You should probably add support for server events. Slaughter. How do we slaughter things? Aha, call a function. Yes. On what though? Let's see where it's defined. Yeah, resource call handler, placement. So I'm gonna go to placement call handler. Don't we have a placement call handler? It's like placement, place item call handler. Yeah. And I'm gonna add a new one, which is cancel. Cancel deployment, which is actually, or let's just not be coy about it and just call it what it is. It's destroy item. And we are going to say, check your if radiant get player ID of item doesn't equal, so if it's not yours, can't undeploy it or destroy it or whatever it is that you're trying to do to it, because that would be mean, destroying other people's stuff. We're just gonna return or response reject. Otherwise, we are just going to the story. Thank you, B. Tal Adams. That was a typo. Entities dot kill entity item, and we want to return here. In fact, let's actually do it the other way around since it's simpler. Return true, and otherwise we're gonna reject. Okay. We'll need to declare that in the manifest. So manifest, and we had like place item or something along those lines. Choose place, 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 and we want to make a copy of this. Call it destroy item, and it's that file. And we want to change that. We're copying it from Slaughter, I think. Yes. And we are going to copy this to destroy item to replace artifact. Okay. Destroy item. Is that what we called it? Oof, that sounds heavy. But it'll be fine. Okay, so someone's mentioning yelling at Tom for 20 minutes before they noticed. Code debugging by Twitch stream, love it. Yes, thank you. Enjoy the game, gets boring after the campaign ends. We do have some campaign stuff coming soonish that might make that better for you, Tsunami. Let's see. Village is under attack. What? Send the troops. I think like the order of those things is off, but whatever. I can roll with it. Wolves off in the distance. Archers. Stop programming. Defend the village. Oh. Is there stuff happening here? No. Not in my village. Oh, I bet it's the music which I cannot hear you. Yes. Mally got it. The background music is playing combat. That makes sense. Okay, back to my scheduled programming. I've got our destroy item call, and one thing I want to verify is how we pass the arguments. So in here, the entity is passed as an argument, which is exactly what we want. This should work. Let's try that. Comfy something or other. It always ends up being a chair. And ta-da! There we go. Cancel task. And our ghost is destroyed. One thing that I want to try is, can we cancel stuff on a building? We don't want to be able to do that. And I think we'll need a bow. To collect that chair before we can add it to the building. Yes, I saw that chair flash by. Right. Build. Yeah, start building. Pause. Leave. Yep. Yeah, so we can't even select that to get to the unit frame and the cancel button. So, seems to be working. Works on my machine, at least. I'm not sure if that's visible. Whoop. Works on my machine. Okay. What else can we do in like the 20 minutes that I have remaining? Let's see. One of the things that our designer asked me the other day is the citizens list. It could be sortable, but it's not. Like this. It doesn't really work with one Hearthling, but if I load a save game, I wonder if there are some save games. That looks like a city. So being able to sort that, so for example, you can find like the Hearthling with the highest mind when you're trying to create a crafter, or you want to sort them by name so that you can find the person whose name you remember, etc. So clicking on these things should probably sort this table, and maybe we can get some progress on that in the 20 minutes I have remaining. So let's take a look. Before I do that, I will commit the changes that I have. Git add this, then git add p, which is an amazing command. It asks you for each piece of code, do you want to add it to this commit or not? And you just say yes or no. So place item, destroy item. Yes, I do want this. Here you can see I had a print that is for debugging that I totally do not want. So I will go back to my editor, go to ghost form component, I think, and delete this print. Let's see if there are other prints here. No. Entity forms, print that I don't want. And let's try that again. Don't want this, we want this, and this, and this, and even this, and this. Cancel placement, destroy item, okay. Let's see, Vim. Canceling placement ghosts. There's no space in placement. Okay. Now let's go and see if we can make this thing sortable. This one will definitely require us to go into the... Whoa, that's a Chrome bug. To the Chrome debugger for our UI. Find out where this thing is, even. So, Citizens Manager. Oh, this is not a real table, is it? Oh no, it is a real table, but the headers are not like a t-head. They are divs, which means it's not as cleanly connected, but you could still figure something out, I think. Let's see. Nope. System management, and that should be in HTML or JS, probably both. Only HTML, that's fine too. And we want citizens.js, and maybe less. Okay, so this is our UI. It's, for those who are not familiar with it, it's just a web page actually. It's running, so there is a Chrome instance running here that is rendering this as a web page. It's a weird way to set up your UI, but it gives you all the development power that comes with Chrome, and all the power of web technologies for whatever good that does. Let's update that. Sort citizens table list. Okay, let's catch up on the chat a little bit. Stonehearth Desktop Tuesday said to ask about the new face of friendship. Did I miss that? I'm afraid I'm not the face of friendship you're looking for. I don't know what that's about. Mally might know. He is a very friendly person. Trees, palm trees. I think we had them, we just never put them into the game. Yeah, what Mally said. Geester, you can get his shirt on Amazon, it looks like. Yes, I do believe I got it on Amazon. Stonehearth, can you teach me how to grow a magnificent beard? No, I have not mastered that skill myself either. BT, I did have a braided beard for a while, but that was college, long time ago. BT ALLA Adams, B Tall Adams. Is that like V Tall Adams? Very Tall Adams? Anyway, doesn't matter. Link of that shirt. Ooh, I hope you get it. It's a cool shirt, if I say so myself. One with a sword. I'm not sure what that's referring to. I should get like a cut from all of these shirt sales I'm creating for them. Drazia Gaming says -m on Vim, it's super effective. Yeah, or just don't use Vim as your default editor. Just use Nano like a regular person. Sort by traits. Not sure. It's not in the UI there, so adding it to is probably, there isn't a clear space for it. Maybe, but not clear space. Elkpine, do you use all custom JS for UIs? Then yes, we use all the UI is custom. I mean, it's from scratch. We use Ember, which is a JavaScript framework, but other than that, we use like random little libraries. But yeah, we reskinned it to the point where you can't tell it's a web page in most cases. Coaster's Ball, it said something about you'd been doing work on the campaigns. Yes, we have been doing works on campaigns. Ooh, Face of Friendship. I wonder if that's referring to our new multi-ethnic towns that might be coming up sometime in the future. Right, so we're working on an improvement to the town progression campaign. I'm not sure we're ready to share more details on it, but there will be some more to it than the current one, and we are considering adding some encounters with other factions and potentially more friendly encounters rather than combat-oriented ones. Once that's ready, we'll let you know. I'm expecting, like, in the next 2 months to have, within the next 2 months, to have a few of those things out on the unstable branch. Serendarius was stopping the trees from being added. I think we just don't have a good place for them. Traits in the list. Space is at a premium here. Mr. Sound, are there any Stonehearth merchandise like keychains, shirts, hoodies? I know they exist, I don't think we sell them. Giant robot based on the stone golem. I think Mally might be able to help you with that. Based on Ali's various sketches of giants. Mr. Sound, they can work on it after the Cthulhu, Stone Mech Titan, or you as the community can work on that and make a mod that is a giant mecha set in Stonehearth. Max is way more tight-lipped than the other devs, Well, yeah. Exactly, don't overpromise. Mally says, don't throw me under the bus. I don't know, it's pretty comfy in there. Like, warm and comfortable. Right, so, 11 minutes. Let's do this. Citizens, yes. Commands, task workers, suspend buttons, various things. What is that? Worker details. Let's look at where that is. So tasks worker list is, worker list table container is kind of what we want. Is it here? Yes, it's here. Citizens array. So we'll go to citizens.js and see where that is calculated. So right here. Citizen array length, array same. What is this even doing? Sort by job name. That does not seem super helpful. So we're gonna have a new property, which is actually just gonna observe, which is sort key, and we're gonna set it somewhere or other. It doesn't matter yet, but we will sort based on that. So solve get sort key, or that's not Lua, it's JavaScript job. So var sort key, and in here we'll do see. So right now we sort by the job name. If they're the same name, we sort by the name of the citizen. What we want to do instead is define several ways to get keys. Let's see. For key getters or key extractors, let's do that. And job will be a function function of x, where x is the citizen description, and we're gonna do this. X is our job name. If it's name, we're gonna do this. So basically I'm saying here are n ways to get a key to sort on. And then I'm gonna index this, I'm gonna say of this sort key. So I'm gonna select one of these functions and just apply it on our one of the things we're comparing. And we want to internationalize this. In this case, we also want to pass in the argument. And that's B. A key and B key. And we're going to compare them. And if not, we're just, as before, we're going to compare the names. So that's like the fallback. That seems reasonable-ish. So right now I'm going to refresh the UI, and I expect nothing will change, but it will be using this new code. While it's doing that, I'm gonna take a quick look at the chat. Slightly annoying to search through every Hearthling in the list when I want to find the one who wants to be a carpenter. Yes, that's trying to solve that. And look, it actually is doing something, except I should probably promote some people so that I can tell whether it's actually sorting them or not. Change jobs, you're gonna be a farmer. Doesn't look like it's sorting them on their name, but we'll figure that out. Okay, Hearthling Mech versus Titan mod coming out. Whether I figure out modding and whenever Radiant figures out Titans. Coasters poll, good luck. I look forward to fighting your Hearthling Mech. Rune, I want to do a Power Rangers mod for a while. yeah, that would be cool. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla? Kinda like that, I suppose. A mod that allows Hearthlings to control Titans, so vehicles and all of that. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of work. Good luck. Goblins controlling big robots would be dangerous and funny and very blizzardy. Like the crazy woodcutter machines from the Warcraft. Yes, exactly. I basically just want Stonehearth Pacific Rim. Yeah, that's not quite in the same neighborhood of genres, but I can see it happening with some modding prowess. Let's see, get some appropriately spiky hair and melodramatic shouting matches. Mech anime. Awesome, we've got all the genres here. Now let's go back to this. Yes, we could comparing the name of the same Hearthling instead of the two of them. So let's refresh that. And yes, you'll notice that it's sorting by job and then by the name. Now all we need to do is when we click these things, we will choose different things for them to sort on. And to get those things, I will want to set a breakpoint where it's doing this comparison and look at what we have available for different citizens. So I will go to citizens.js, sort key, so in here, and I'm gonna just reopen this, which will prompt breakpoint, and I will look at, in the console here, I'm gonna look at A, which is one of the Hearthlings being compared. So, whoa, that's a lot of stuff that we haven't actually looked at. So attributes should be a thing that we query. So in here I want to change, I'll want to add a bunch more of these. let's go back to our editor. We'll want the attributes so that we can look at their heart, mind, spirit. Heart, mind, spirit? Body, mind, spirit. Stats. Where is that used? Not here. In addition to their attributes, I also want the activity and their morale. Okay, do that. So that would be happiness and AI. I know it's in the AI somewhere, but I don't know if it's deeper down than just the component. So let's do AI and happiness. Should probably reduce the amount of stuff we're fetching here, since it's kind of expensive, but just for a prototype that I'm doing here on stream, that should be sufficient. And we're gonna refresh that, put our breakpoint back, and open this. Now, if I look into AI, we'll see that a bunch of other things are available. So Stonehearth AI is available, and status text key is the activity. Bruno Supremo says, although I'm okay with website PHP, JS, etc., I have a hard time with the Stonehearth UI code. Feel free to post questions. It looks harder than it is because of all the Ember stuff. Once you get how Ember works, which is totally unintuitive when you're not used to it, the rest is very straightforward JavaScript. Basically what Ember does for you is allows you to have your template, your view, be independent of your code, and you just write your view as if all the data is always there, like your template, and then in the JavaScript you set things and read things, or like you observe changes to data and then make other changes to data. So for example, in here I'm observing the sort key, so whenever the sort key changes, regardless of how it's gonna change, in my case it's gonna be in response to clicks on the table headers, but it could be by any other means. I'm gonna say, okay, recalculate this thing, and I'm gonna update our citizens array, and this automatically updates the template, and that's basically what Ember gives you. There's a bunch of other conveniences, but I'm not sure I would have used Ember if I was starting from scratch, but that's it's too late now. See you later, Melly. I started a little later, so I'm gonna stick around for a little bit, try to finish this and answer some questions, if there are questions. Okay, so we've got AI status text key, so I'm gonna write that down here. So activity would be their AI status text key. Unreal Vox says, I got the eyes working. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but congrats. One of the things that was on my list of potential quality of life fixes today was to make an AI selector in the embark screen, but that's like pretty fiddly, so I decided to do these smaller things. So the other thing that we wanted to look is attributes, and so it's going to be Stonehearth attributes, body, effective value, user visible value, so that's what we're going to do. So if we say body attributes dot attributes dot body, and we don't need internationalization because why? Oh, because this is a number. We also will need to fix the locale compare here to not do that to numbers, because that's a terrible thing to do to numbers. Because things like 2 appear before or after 10. So let's verify that this is correct. Yes, we are able to get the body that way. So same thing for mind and spirit. And what else did we want? The morale, so the happiness. Okay. So under happiness, we have current happiness. That's very simple. So we're gonna do current happiness and happiness. Oh, that's already spirit, so I'm gonna cancel that and do happiness. Coaster's Ball says, "I selector only selects pirates. I approve." Okay, I think that gives us all we need. And here we want to make sure it's type of, right, in JavaScript? Because in Lua it's type. Yeah, cool. Type of. So if it's a string, do locale compare locale. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Otherwise, do like a key. Is there like a number compare thing that is built in? Let's find out. JavaScript built in. Of course, it will take me less time to write it than to look it up, but number compare function. Report sort compare function number. Let's see, compare. Whatever. I'll just write it. So a key less than b key -1. Otherwise, if a key greater than b key, +1 or 1, and otherwise 0. Not super readable, but we'll clean that up later. Okay, so that should be reasonably correct, and I'm gonna just, for testing, I'm gonna default sorting by body, and when I refresh this after I remove the breakpoint, we should see it sorted by body. And as you see, we sorted by body. We also probably want clicking twice to reverse the sort order, so we also want a sort key and sort direction. We'll default to 1, which we will for some reason assume is ascending, and -1 being descending. And we're just gonna multiply our results by sort direction, which should do the right thing. Okay. So now what we want is to change these in response to clicks on the headers. So mood title, I believe, is an example of what we want. If we go to elements, try to select, say, this. Whoop, select the wrong thing. But so it's task worker list, list titles. So these things, when we click on them, we want to update the sort key and sort order. Bruno Supreme was such a small feature yet so useful. Not sure which one, but yeah, there are lots of very tiny quality of life features that don't take a lot to implement, but really reduce pain. Windy for Sun says, lucky Ali was not here to see the puns. Yes, she does not appreciate the fine art of the pun, alas. Or rather, she appreciates it, but she gives everyone shit for it. So, let's see. Do we do anything to these titles? In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna annotate them with the sort key right here in the view. And then I'm gonna say anything that is a list title, when you click on it, look at its sort key, set that sort key. If it's already, reverse the direction. Seems very straightforward. So mood title is happiness, sort key, activity, I believe it's called activity in my setup. These we don't use. Maybe we should, but later. Okay, stat, which stat is that? Spirit, okay. And body, and mind. Oh, and that's obviously the name, I think. Ooh, we don't have a separate thing for the job, which means that you can never sort by the job. I'll add that later. Like, do you have a job icon? Huh. It's kind of weird. We have all icons for all the different jobs, but we don't have an icon that signifies a job that I know of. We'll figure something out. So, we've got these things. Now in here, let's see if we never do anything with list title. So when did insert element, so we're gonna want this, copy of this. This is for clicking on the mood icon, and here it's clicking on list titles. We want to say this, which is the thing being clicked on. Attribute data sort key. So this is our desired sort key. And then we'll say if our new sort key is the same as the old one, just reverse the direction. And if it's not the same one, then switch to it. Sublime, you're trying to be helpful, but that's not how you be helpful. Instead of get, we want set. And I believe it was sort direction. Yes, now that's helpful, Sublime. We want the old direction. If there is non-set, we'll default to 1, which is ascending. Could this be all there is to it? That can be it. Gotta be something more. Let's try it out and see how it works. Let's catch up on the stream. Well, you use a little push to derail Ali streams. Ali streams are so awesome. Like, it would take me a year to draw things that she draws in like an hour. It's amazing. Cthulhu streams was honestly one of the best streams ever. Yep, I watched the whole thing and I hadn't watched it live. Birds are the best. Yes, Ali and birds are inseparable. Sarandires want to get himself into trouble with Ali. I would never let them catch me. Speaking of jobs, quick question. Why was the change job button removed from the info box at the bottom? You would have to ask Nikki. I think, yeah, we've gotten reports of people not liking that change. We might put it back. We also are considering putting it in the character sheet. In fact, it was also one of the things that I considered doing it on this stream. But I wasn't sure whether that's what we want. But potentially other buttons might appear here, and we need space for like the activity and it's basically just the activity for Heartlings. Bruno Supreme, I would prefer if the promotion was inside their character sheets. Yes, that's the thing that I was saying that we might do. So somewhere in here would be a button that says change, or an icon, or maybe you just click on the worker and when you hover it highlights, whatever, something like that. Anyway, I think yeah, so activity, that's not doing much. It's clearly changing something. So yes, this is just sorted them by mind. If I click again, nothing is happening. I will look into that. That's probably the case of reversing direction not working. Or maybe we're just not watching the direction. Okay, so by body, by spirit, by name, by activity. Let's see, sword direction. Do we watch sword direction? We do watch sword direction. Oh, yes. We set sword direction to sword direction instead of the opposite. So that should fix it. So we'll have C by spirit, by mind, and then we reverse it by name, we reverse it. So we've got our sorting. These don't actually, wow. I want to not do anything when there is no sort key. So only do this if there is a sort key defined on that header. Pick of Death. Has anyone ever gotten a 666 Hearthling? I believe we don't allow that on Embarkation, but you can have people who join later roll 666. And something that we are considering in the future, potentially giving, like, as a reward for encounters, having a Hearthling gain permanent stats. But we haven't really decided on that, and I'll need to check with Luke to see if there are design issues with that. Custer's Paul says he didn't like being unstable last alpha. Yeah, we are maintaining the state of unstable being super unstable, so don't expect much, especially now that we're getting close to having the builder available. Once that goes out, that's a huge system that hasn't really seen players ever, except for our internal testing, and that's going to be a huge surface for bugs or unexpected things. And then when we get multiplayer out, basically it's going to be unstable for a while. Sarandire says, and we will break it. Oh yeah, we absolutely know that. You guys have broken everything we've made, so this wouldn't be the first. Anyway, it's 15 minutes over, and even accounting for my late start, I think that's pretty close to the end of the stream. So we've got this sorting in. I'm gonna commit that to Git. Oh, it doesn't have my shortcuts. And hopefully this will show up on the next release. You're welcome, Sarandires. Oh, Lamp Whisper says, if the sword key changes, you should reset the sword direction. Absolutely right. I will do that right now. Thank you. Sword direction, yes. When you get a new sword key, we're gonna have sword direction 1. Yep. Don't want that, we want that. Cool. Thanks for watching. I had fun, I hope you did as well. And that shall be all. Good night.